Hello, Divine Sunshiners. This is Divine Sunshine coming to you doing a weekly update as far as checking in the energies, as far as where we are in for union. A lot of energies. Some divine masculines are kind of going through, kind of like, almost to me, I picture it like a butterfly cocooning. Kind of really poking out. Some of the divine masculines may or may not be acting like themselves. It kind of traces of themselves, but something else is going on. So it's kind of like a battle going on within them. This is the divine masculine, spoke of it also in his reading about the battle that they're going through. Please visit his. He talks about the divine masculine with the karmic situations, trying to struggle and get out of it. Seems like it's there underneath, some of them are underneath a kind of pressure cooker kind of situation, and they're really trying very hard to find ways to get out. Some of them are saying, they're going to really, here's again, famous saying, damn it to hell, to kind of really say, I'm getting out of this situation, by any nook and crook, by any means necessary, like Malcolm X. Some of them are kind of thinking about maybe surrendering back into it, but they know that that's not really a healthy way of really dealing with the situation, by saying they're going to go back into that situation with the karmic. And so, yeah, I'm messing with this curl here. And so that is the kind of situation that they're currently in, is just trying to find ways of how to deal with what's currently going on with that. I guess it was fine the first time. I know you're like, what is she doing? But sometimes I look in things, it's like, oh my God, I got to deal with that. Okay, so that's currently the energies that they are in. Okay, that's even interestingly better, but whatever. That's kind of the energies that they're in. Like, please stop messing with that. That's the current energies that they are in at this time. So now, let's look at, Spirit told me to lead off to find out what's going on as far as for both. I like Elizabeth Lund's new thing that she uses is for our ascension partners. I was trying to see what was one way of doing it, calling it, and I like the wording ascension partners. So let's look and see what's going on. Because even if you say your counterpart or your whatever it is, or your it still feels like it's a kind of like of going against each other. So let's kind of clear. Let's look and see what's going on as far as our journey of love into union for both right now, currently, for the collective. Oh, I did see one and it popped up and then it went back down. So we're at the end of March, going into April. So what are we looking at for this next coming week as far as the energies? I think this is what came up before. Yeah, I think so. So we have the number 14 falling. And I'll read a little bit from that. Okay. Don't worry. You may fear you are falling, but it's just your soul diving deeper into the ocean of bliss. Are you sensing parts of your life flying away from you, out of control, as the momentum of your divine surrender takes over and becomes more powerful than the old adhesive between you and what no longer serves? Laugh, cry, celebrate, and ponder. Whether it makes sense or not, you are like a perfectly ripe fruit falling from the universal tree, succulent and ready to be enjoyed for all that you are. If you wait any longer, this moment will be lost and you'll end up on the ground, having to decay and go to seed in order to start the whole process again. This is not so bad, but what a shame if your sweet nectar was not to be savored by a hungry world. You deserve to be declared the most delicious, juicy fruit that ever was. So fall. You'll end up exactly where you are meant to be. This oracle contains a message for you. You are being called closer into divine union and into the fulfillment of your destiny now. It's safe for you to trust what is happening. Go with it. It might seem like you are being asked to take a leap of faith. It's the right timing for that. It's your time to give yourself in love without holding back anything of yourself. It is wrong to love, to feel what I hold inside. The answer must wait. Is it wrong to love, to feel what I hold inside? The answer must wait. Okay, so when I read this, several things popped up. With the Divine Feminine, I think at this point, you're at the point that you are trying to now work on some things of self and some projects. Right now, you're putting some finishing touches on, or either some of you all are just discovering and starting to try to find ways. Spirit told me to do this last time and I didn't. Okay. You're trying to find ways. Excuse me, now I have my butt right there in the camera. Sorry. Trying to find ways in which you can start projects that you're really thinking about, really trying to tackle the things that you desire, that you want to do in life, to help you bring up that passion or that love in life. And so that is one way to help to kind of draw you, number one, to become detached, still into the journey, but then detaching from it and just throwing all your interest and your passion and your love and your energy into this one thing. While like I said, I felt like the Divine Masculine is going through this cocooning process of asking himself, does he want to fall? Does he really want to go through this process of into union, doing the things that he has to do? If it's karmically getting rid of some things, he's really in the process of seeing and seeking that out. And then also, if there's some things that he also needs to keep on still working within himself in order to feel love. And also, I think at the last reading I did that, it was for him to get more in touch with his feminine side. And so he's really working on his emotional self at this time too, to get ready for union. So it's some things that also Divine Feminines, we have to also clean up. I told you last time to get very real with yourself and see about some things that you had to change. So moving on into that, I seen Spirit was leading me to clear to use the change cards, life changes. So for the Divine Feminine, in order to get into union, this concentration this week, what are some things that she has to change? Okay. And then for the Divine Masculine, some things in order for him to get ready or get into union, what things does he have to change as well? Okay. I'm going to take both of these here. Okay. All right. So for the Divine Feminine, it says leaving. So you've got to kind of leave some of those things in which you are very comfortable with. I'm going to look and see in reading, is there anything that might trigger something? It was saying that leaving. So this card confirms what you already know. It's time to leave a toxic situation. You've done your best to heal the conditions, but sometimes the circumstances become intolerable, and the healthiest choice is to move on. This naturally brings up feelings of confusion, insecurity. However, rest assured that whenever you're on the right path, which you are, everything works out for the best. Your departure doesn't need to be sudden or drastic. Like a butterfly building a cocoon, you can plan and prepare for this transition right now. You can even make your exit gradual, so that you feel comfortable and secure during this healthy change. I believe that also with this, I'm looking at it, say additional meanings. You got to let go of some fear about where you are. I feel that you're kind of comfortable, Divine Feminine. At this time, and like I said, I feel some of y'all will need to start projects, and you're kind of really having that fear base about the whole situation. Should I stay or should I leave? Should I go? Should I stay? Because you're comfortable in it, and it's really time now at this point that you should be thinking about that. You know what? I think I'm going to have to leave this situation, because sometimes just because things are comfortable right where you are does not mean that that's the point in which you need to stay. Sometimes it's time for you to shake up some things of your comfortability as to where you are, and it's actually time for you to kind of when you get too comfortable and you felt that you learned all the lessons that you can, it's time for you to go on and go to the next level. Some of you all have felt that way. You felt it a little kind of like, is this it? Is this all? Like this really the end of the road? And so now you're almost feeling just like how I feel as well, that you're looking for things to kind of say, what else can I do? Am I really doing everything as a light worker that's really helping the community and helping the world to become better? Am I doing my part while I'm sitting here, while I'm waiting for either the divine masculine, my ascension partner to catch up to where I am? Because remember again, our deal is for us to grow and go to the next level. So right now we might be confused about some things, and it's a toxic situation. We know that there's some things going on. The way we're thinking is really saying, you know what, it's really time for what's going on. It's not healthy for us. That same thing, just like this week. I know I hadn't talked to you about that. With my dance group that I have in after school, my kids signed up to go for cheerleading. At the same time that I host dance, and so I had been out because either I was going on my vacation, or my dad, or either things came up like professional developments, things I had to do, and I missed a couple of dance days. So in the kids' heads, in their mind, in their defense, it was like, okay, well, she ain't never here, so let me go on and find me something else to do, And so, but we have also things at the end. We have a showcase at the end that they are supposed to actually do. And so then when they signed up for this other person's thing for them to dance, it's the same day, and they had competition. So they had went on ahead and had their parents sign off and said they could go on ahead and go to them. And so, long story short, I found out I'm going to go pick them up, and there's a whole slew of my whole dance crew is going with this other cheerleading coach. And I'm like, okay, so like, where y'all going? And like, we going to cheerleading. And I said, well, what's going on here? So, I went off, I did, and I told them, that, you had made a commitment to the dance thing. That wasn't right. That's not how you do anything. The other days, even I was absent on Mondays. What happened with Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? You all come in and talk to me and say, we really want to do cheerleading. Then maybe I could have compromised and found a new day for me to do dance on. And whatever. So, I taught them a lesson. I felt at that moment that they needed to learn a lesson of understanding what's commitment and how their behavior is unacceptable. I feel in some ways, when I think about the kids that I work with, that it has got to the point that sometimes these are things in which the parents tolerate that kind of behavior, not understanding and instilling with them what true commitment is. And so then I told them at that time, I said, you know what, at this time, if that's where you want to go to cheerleading, you all go to cheerleading. I said, however, you got to talk to the people that's over the program, let them know this is what you're choosing to do. Of course, they was dragging their feet. They didn't want to come follow behind me as I went to talk to them and told them, what's happening, that there wouldn't be a showcase or dot. So, they was like, they wanted to still do cheerleading, and the person told, well, you made a commitment to my program, what's going on, that's not right. And, I could have sworn I heard one of the kids say, or maybe I might have been clairvoyant, hearing them saying, well, I really want to go to cheerleading. So then I was like, okay, you know what? That's it. You mumbling. You say you want to go to cheerleading. I really don't want to do that. So I went on ahead and said, you know what? I walked out. Went and got my stuff, checked out, went to my car, and left. A couple of kids did come after me and say, my name, Miss B, I'm sorry, about that. We could have came and talked to you a little bit better. We saw we hurt your feelings, because they could tell I was hurt. And, such. I said, okay, fine. I said, you all going to cheerleading? They're like, yeah. So it settled that. I say all of that is because sometimes you could tell it had been coming down the pipeline. I was getting semi-tired of the dance, doing it in the afternoons. Sometimes I was like, oh, I wish I could just go home. I really don't want to do it, but I would drag myself to do that. I could feel within me, being a extra sensory empath, that this was pretty much coming down the line, that it was someday it was going to have to stop. Because it was getting to the point that I was getting tired of doing it. And the kids could also sense as well as that we weren't fully committed to it as we were in the past. Same thing, like I said, there. It all came to a head. I didn't like how it was, how it happened, but it was that. I was upset about it. However, it made me think about, you know what, I want to really create my own after school program as well. And so now I'm in the works of saying, you know what, let me go on ahead after my dream, what I actually want to do. So sometimes when they saying, just like it said there, you leaving one thing, leaves on its own, rather you're forced to or whatever, gives birth to, or leaves an opening for a new beginning. And so hopefully, you know, I'll continue on with the steps of creating this new program that I want to do, because there's some grade levels that's really being neglected. They're concentrating on certain grade levels like 6 through 8 in my school, and I don't see anything for the 3rd through 5th. So I like to kind of create something for them, because those are the ones that I think that they need to kind of hit them and train them so that when they get into upper grades, they'll be ready. Okay, so sometimes, like I say, when you got toxic things going on, you can feel it, you know it, and you know when it's time to really leave. And sometimes you got to kind of just leave, exit, and let it go and say, okay, you know what, I'm not going to fight it anymore. Okay, so next thing also for the divine masculine, you have end of an era. Okay, so that means we got coming to the end of the era. I picture this, and I'm seeing this as the end of a cycle. This could be some of the things they talk about, karmic cycles. You could think of, like, to me, I think of the number 9, when you come into a karmic completion, the cycle is ending spiritually as well. And then this, to me, also with the end of the era comes, it also says for the divine masculine, what needs to change is to be true to you. Okay, because right now the divine masculine, some of you all are not living your authentic self. Let's look and see what it says. End of an era. See what I might come up with that. End of an era, like chapters in the book. Life has eras that begin and end. You drew this card because the cycle of beginnings and endings is touching you right now. It is important to be very gentle with yourself during times of change. Think of the butterfly in the cocoon, which I said there earlier about the divine masculine. I can feel that dormant in preparation for a rebirth with the wings. You're in a similar state right now. So please practice daily self-care. Don't feel guilty by saying no to extra activities so that you can rest, heal, and prepare for the next era. That's what I'm saying about the divine masculine. I'm sensing that with him. And I'm just seeing this from my own examples of what I'm viewing and looking at the divine masculine. They're going through something, and some of this, what they're saying, practice self-care, where they're not doing the like activities, no extra activities, would be also if they are in communications with you, the divine feminine or anybody else, you kind of see them kind of like withdrawing a little bit. You know, it's like I'm gonna speak and say things like good morning or whatever, and you kind of standing there and seeing them as they going through their daily routines and saying, something's not right there. You know, something's you're a little off. I even told my divine masculine that, you know, it's like, okay, you're going through the motions, but something's a little quite shaky there. But now I see what they're saying here. They're showing through the cards is right now he's going through the process of cocooning. So that's the same thing. So if you see your divine masculine, or you see things going on with them, if you're in communications with them, you can kind of say, well, let me kind of treat you gently, because right now you're cocooning, you're not ready for me to disturb you, which means for me not to talk to you, saying too much of things. You know, communicate when they want to communicate, that's fine, but not doing a lot of things to kind of rock the boat to stop you from the process of you really concentrating on yourself and doing. So he's processing and he's practicing self-care if he's not doing too much communication. So you might say, well, I talked to him, and then all of a sudden it kind of stopped. Well, the cards is kind of explaining to you now what's actually going on is that he's right now going through a process of finding himself. Be true to you. I put this up, I forgot. So the divine masculine is now going through a process. You drew this card because of an inner conflict. So you're struggling to make a decision about next actions. You worry whether you worry whether following your desired path is the right choice, and how doing so would impact others. So the divine masculine right now is, you know, really trying to be true to himself, and he's trying to really weigh the cons and seeing what other kind of things are also going to be at play as far as him really when he decides to make this choice to follow his heart. Speaking of that, so I'm going to go on ahead and go into this. Clear. What's happening with the heart for actions, matters of the heart for the divine feminine, and what's going on for the divine masculine. Okay, so the divine feminine, right now it says leaving. So yeah, if you're leaving right now, you really don't have time to be thinking about any kind of romantic feelings. You don't want to explore, because right now you're just really saying, let me put a pause, a hold, a stop to whatever romantic feelings, and just really deal with what's going on here, especially when you talk about the toxicity that's in your area, in your surroundings, in your environment, especially kind of getting union. To me, I'm picking up, you're saying, you know what, it's kind of time for me to kind of clean the house. Let me look at a clarifier. Clear. Yeah, you're dealing with some higher power. The higher powers is really trying to unlock some things. I'm looking at this like right there at her, right there at her third eye. It looks like to me like almost like a key that's opening, or it looks like it's a flashlight opening up something. So you're really trying to shine some light on some intuitively in your awareness on some things as far as how what do you need to get rid of, where is, as far as even if you're leaving, where are you exactly going. Like I said, I feel like the divine feminine is working on some projects, some things that's really saying, okay, before we get into union, or in the process of waiting or getting into union, number one, I got to leave some old things or some old projects or some old jobs or some things behind. And then I've got to start working with the higher powers, opening up some things and kind of giving downloads and shedding light on some things as far as it's, you know, this is the direction you need to go next. Okay. Also with the divine feminine, again, last reading was playing by the book. You really are saying you're stair-stepping. I'm putting, you know, I'm not putting the cart before the horse. I'm really slowing myself down and making sure that the steps that I make are very sure-footed. Okay? I can understand that. And then also, and you really saying no place like home. So wherever you are right now, it's just like, you know, you're heading for course for home. Okay? What are some of the events, clear, this week that's going to be really a catalyst for this? So you got 4, fire, contentment, peace, and abundance, a happy home life, the successful completion of a project. Again, you leaving this, helping you into union, is leading you in knowing this no place like home. You really setting forth course for something that makes home, means where I'm comfortable, where I feel whole. So to me, today home is whole, you know, where you feel that wholesome feeling, that really feeling home, like that slice of bread thing. And so where you feeling contentment, your peace, your abundance, you're really trying to find that way as far as you feeling in that. I'm seeing for like that balance. And to me, instead of saying the divine feminine and divine masculine in the physical, is to me where you find that balance within yourself, where you're seeing your balance of the feminine and your masculine self, which we said in the last reading, which was the divine feminine has to work on the balance. And it seems like to me that you kind of continue on with that, and you are really working on with finding that balance. And you're going to find it through a successful completion of a project, maybe something that you had started before. You were scared to kind of continue on with that thought, and now you're at the point that you're saying, you know what, I am going to actually start that project. I'm going to take it step by step, like you say, by the book, and actually see this thing through, that I've been my heart's desire. Okay. Then you're also saying now 9 of water, your wish comes true, concerns fade away, a love of life. And so this right here, you see, this is the feminine right there in the center of all of everything, all the action, all of her emotions. It's swirling around, and underneath all the emotions is really all the treasures that she is. So that means to be divine feminine, you got to really dive deep into your emotions and really seeing where is the buried treasure within you underneath all that emotions that's swarming around. Okay, and so you know, you're really in the mode of manifesting and making your dreams come true this week. And so concerns fade away. Why? Because right now you're not concentrating on the divine masculine in the physical. How is he helping the process of for you to be able to ascend? You just really at the point that you're saying, okay, I'm just doing me. I'm concentrating. See, you're the only one in the water. I'm dealing with getting the handle of the emotions that I'm feeling at the moment, and I'm just letting it kind of really in the midst of this all, just really finding calm in the midst of all these waters that's going on. Okay, so that is because she's focused, she knows where she's looking at, but all these waters, her emotions is, so you're kind of in it. You're not drowning in it, but you're kind of really seeing that, you know, you're just really trying to get a hold of emotions so you can create that balance that we talked about earlier. Okay, divine feminine, some energies of your divinity that you need to work on. Clear. Is goddess of strength. You need to become more stronger with that. When I see Mary Magdalene, I also think about also just preparing of, especially with her, she's looking like Mary Magdalene was getting prepared, different herbs, frankincense, myrrh, and all that stuff, and for burial, to prepare the body for Jesus. And to me, when I see this, it's really finding strength to find ways to start burying some things, these toxic things that don't work right now in order for union. Just really sit down and create a list of things that you're saying, you know what, let me get honest with myself. What things are acting as a blockage for me to come into my greatness, and what things are blocking me in order to get me into union? And then really think about what are some things in which I can do, in which I can work on narrowing down, or these things that's going on with me as far as that's blocking me or stopping me in getting into union, okay, or stopping me from my greatness. Okay, so those are the things. Maybe some of you all might say, I done gave up the quest. I ain't even on about the journey. I'm by myself. So what things are blocking you into your greatness? Because right now we're talking about leaving. That is the things that's got to change in order for you to find union within yourself, the divine masculine and the divine feminine self within you. So right now you're at the point that you're getting ready for burial. Burial of these things that are really no longer serving you. Okay, then you got to get endurance. When I see endurance, that means going the distance. But how you going to go the distance is really looking, take deep within yourself and looking at the stuff that is working. Okay, you got to get, to me, when I see this red, which means you got to get really deeply rooted and grounded in these things. And then also you got to deal with matters of the heart, your heart chakra as well, and really seeing where the desires, because your heart will lead you in the direction that you need to go. But you also got to get grounded and rooted and just really get down to the nitty gritty of things. So you can be able to endure this thing as far as getting rid of things that don't work. And then the goddess of wisdom. You also have got to think about how you're going to go about this. You got to become wise right now. You got to become like the fox. You got to come like the owl. Those things. Just really not leaning into your own understanding. But to me, wisdom is like really going into inwardly and just tapping into the higher power, your higher self, and asking for guidance as well. And as well so as with yourself too, working together. And remember I told you about that inner child. Check in with her, or it to also help and assist you in seeing as far as guiding you as far as what's your next steps that you need to do as well. Okay, that was the event. So we're looking at really you closing as a completion of the project. You're dealing with the emotions. Concerns fade away because you're not concentrating so much, and a love of life. So you're going to really, this week, you're going to really feel a love of life, divine feminine. I don't think I talked about that. And so then also, let's go on and see what is their overarching theme for you this week as well, divine feminines. Just one card, please. Page of Air. Okay, that's not energy. Oh, right here, my finger right on it. New ideas, a theory not yet proven, curiosity, new focus. This calls for greater investigation as we've only scratched the surface. I don't really know. That's interesting. If I explore this way of thinking, what can I learn? Okay, so right now, this is the overarching theme of you this week. It's just like, you know you got to leave. You kind of don't know where it's going to lead off to. But the universe is saying, yeah, this is something that you got to actually do. Okay? I'm going to leave that for that later on. Can I get a clarifier? I have it on you. Clear. To see what is that. These is 3. Okay. So I'm feeling this is really, you've got to come, this is emphasis, although it's in reverse, but for me it says in emphasis. So you've really got to take some action. Some of you all has got to look at your shadow self, and also, to me, spirit, this is it together. And it's also, you got to look at your masculine and the feminine side and help them both balance it out to be able to get some type of action as well. So you got to look at your emotions, well, so as your analytical, to get this horse to moving. Okay, remember I said about don't put your cart before the horse. Literally, you got to get some action. Again, this came in reverse, walking away. You've got to walk away, divine feminines. Whatever is not serving you, you got to let it go. You got to walk through that gate into your spirituality and really see where is this thing's going. This is emphasis, camera reverse, so you got to really do that this week. We're moving into from March into April. You got to really, the April really spring, it represents really springing, until March is that, but really when you get into April, you know, like they say, April showers bring on May flowers. So really washing away those things and creating that newness. So in May, you could be in full blossom into whatever it is that you really want to. This new project is really opening. It's really, started. You done planted the seed earlier. April, you starting to wash and really, fertilize and give root and give nourishment to this idea of we got to walk away. So in May, we're blossoming and blooming into something else. And you got the door to romance. Romance is, I told you, romance, another way of looking at that is magic. Magic means making things manifest and happening, because once you start doing this, the doors are opening. As I said, doors of the church is opening. Yes, doors are opening, and it's opening up, and you're unlocking the key to the desires of your heart. Okay, so this is why this has to happen. Okay, for the divine masculine, for you, we left with you. Matters of the heart this week is honeymoon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. So really with this, we set and sail off on the journey in the course for union, for here, where the divine ascension partners reside. Okay, you're setting forth course for that. The angels are guiding and helping you to go off to where you are supposed to go. Ship is also on a journey. It's floating in a specific direction. The moon has helped to create this new change. The moon represents your intuitiveness and your awareness. Those things have now lit up the night sky, and now are really giving way onto your path as to where you're exactly heading off to. You're really at the point that you're really trying to set sail off for your bliss. What makes you truly happy? Okay, especially when you're talking about being the true version, your authentic self, and this is the end of an era. Okay, let me get some clarifiers for that. While we in this honeymoon clear phase for the divine masculine, can I get some clarifiers for that? You too knowing it's time to clean up some things, and you also know it was a fork in the road. Fork in the road is in reverse. I'm feeling it keeps on saying there's no. Okay, I get the fork in the road on that one. It's saying this. It said yes. It once upon a time. Let's be honest. Let's keep it 100. Divine masculines. There was a kind of weighing of two things. It's like, okay, should I be with the divine feminine, or should I be where I'm at? You know, should I continue on with this karmic, or should I, a karmic situation, or should that could be a person, place, a thing, or should some of you all were saying, I wasn't in none of this situation. I just felt like I just didn't want to deal with the situation of being a divine, in a relationship with the divine feminine, on my way to ascension, and then being my ascension partner and being on this ascension journey is just a whole lot for me to take in. I didn't want to do that. Okay, so that's the point that we're at right now about this ascension walk. Now you're at the point, some of you all, I'm picking up instinctively divine masculine and saying, I forgot, and I said, let my divine masculine be present too. I did not say that. Okay, some of you all are also at the point of saying, you know what, I've been at this for a while. I didn't want to do it. I was scared because this is a lot of responsibility. And so now, I done tried every damn thing else. So now I just might as well go ahead and try that. Okay, that's honestly. Some of the divine feminists are saying, I don't care how the heck you, I don't care how you get there, just get there if you can. There's our hills and mountains between us, always something to get over. Okay, so now it's always something for you to get over. So she's like, I don't give a damn how you get there. Just get there, get here if you can. Okay, so that's the point some of them are at. They're just like, I'm tired. Everything else is failing. Hell, well, might as well just go ahead and try this. Okay, so that's where they are at. Next one I want to see is what as far as some events that's going to happen for the divine masculine. Clear. What are the events that's going to help them as far as this week to lead them into union? Let's get right here. Oh, 4 of air. Okay, time to rest or take a vacation. Allow more time before making the decision. Meditation may provide answers. Okay, again, I told you that. I said the divine masculine might be finding himself kind of withdrawing a little bit. Some of them, like I said, if you're in communications with them or a little bit of communications, you'll notice that. It's like, you ain't kind of your wide open self. It's like, yeah, I'm still communicating with you, but it's a little bit different. Before then, I used to take it personal, and I did have the psychic tell me, don't take it personal this time. And so this time I'm not. I was like, okay, like I said with divine feminine, if you are experiencing that and you are in communication with your divine masculine, this is a perfect time for you to say, okay, you go ahead and do you, and let me set forth course on to start working on this project. Divine masculine, back to you. I felt also like you between two things. You're making the decision, and they say you're not like it was before. It's like, it's like I'm in the fork of the road and I just really don't want to choose which way, because for years, each from the started from this reading on, and you all would just stand there and, it's like, should I go right or should I go left? And y'all just stood there. And some of y'all did say, you know what, you turned back and you went right on back, a divine master, let's be honest, back to the situation. I feel like making no decision right now. Now you all are standing there and say, you know what, I'm at a fork of the road, but the point I'm at is which way should I go that will be right? It's like, I know I've got to move, but I want to make sure that the road that I take is destined to be the right one. It's right for me. I'm going to tell you, just like how light travels, it does not matter, divine masculine, which one that you take. Yes, true, I could hear some of you all saying, yeah, but see, if I choose the wrong one, then it's going to take me all the way around to get right back on track to where I should have been. Yes, that is true. I heard you very loud and clear. If I pick the wrong one and then I decide that's the wrong one, then I got to go on. But at the same time, you just like the light travels. Light does not travel in a straight line. Light travels on the path, off the path, on the path, off the path, on the path, off the path. This is the way light travels, okay? It does not go like this straight on the path at all times. So, just like light, when we are light workers, sometimes we're going to be on the path, off the path, on the path, off the path. in trying to find that. In the divine masculine, you might do that. But right now, even with you, like they say, any decision, anything you do is a decision. You standing there not to do anything is a decision. You standing there to say, okay, I'm going to go right and see where this path on the right hand side goes, or choose this path that's on the left hand side and choose. Either way it goes, it is still a choice that you are making. Okay, so now between those two, you got either you can stay with, to me, when I see this is always represented the karmic situation, you can continue on with that, save and hope that someday that down the road it can unravel, and you will still be able to get your enlightenment things doing that path by still going there and they're still going through the lessons that you're doing through the karmic thing. Or for you to say, you know what, I think we came to the end of the road. I think I've learned everything that I need to through this remediation lesson. And so now I want to go on ahead and ascend with my ascension partner, and then find some other things in which I can send with them, like in the community, start working on my mission, my purpose, my things of that nature. You probably could, if you want to stay, I can hear you say, well, what if I stay with karma? If it's my mission and my purpose, I should still be able to have that. Yeah, you know, some of you all, you can probably say still be in that karma situation, but I bet you won't have so many distractions making it hard for you to stay on your path to be able to truly fulfill and complete whatever that the mission that you need to be doing. It's going to be much harder, which you might be less harder with you going with your ascension partner, because, you know, they understand. You might still be learning through things, but I believe that there'll probably be less distractions going that road. It's up to you whichever way. You might say, it's not, I don't feel it's time to. Okay, well, stick right there into the karmic situation until you feel like it's time to be released, and you know you find an opening for you to be able to do that. But the ideal of it is that you're not going to stay in that situation. Okay, that's not it, especially if it's blocking you into you being able to go on to your mission and your purpose. Okay, so right now what you're dealing with is you just resting. You kind of really thinking about what is truly the next step that you feel comfortable is next for you to do. I feel still with this divine masculine here that you at the point that you're saying, I want to get out of it, whatever this situation with the karmic situation, but you just don't know which road is which path is the right path to take in order for you this to happen, you know, and for ascension. So, like I said, meditation may provide you some answers to this. And so I would say kind of just meditate and see. Let's see what the divine energies, what does that lead you to? Clear. With your energies, oh, it did right off the bat. For the divine masculine, God of protection. Whatever it is, you got to get into protective mode about yourself. You got to leave your heart open. You got to at least definitely your solar plex open. And you got to work on, it seems like, your intimacy, which is where you are, your sacred, how you're connecting with other things and how you're getting rooted and grounded. That's something that's got to be worked on. And your upper heart chakra right here, too, as well, almost a little bit into your communications. How you communicate. Everything else is pretty much open, is not shielded. So those are the areas to me where I see him covered, that either wanting two things that you got to really make sure that you work with, become more stronger and strengthened in, or those are the areas that also you need to protect it if you're going into war, as far as ending these cycles. I call it end of a chapter or a cycle that you're in, and then also trying to be true to yourself. Those are the areas in which you could be more vulnerable in, and you might find yourself that you got to protect yourself more with. Okay. Next one I had, okay, finding out, is this one? Yeah. Let's see about as far as what's the overarching theme. Clear. For you, divine masculines. Nine of air. You got air too. Nine of air. Nine of air. You are the one. Night and day. right. So night and day, you are the one. That's what the divine masculine is saying right now. 9 of air, shifting negative self-talk to self-compassion, from fear to possibility, a call to faith. So this is your overarching theme. With a gentle, mellifluous voice, I tell myself that I will be okay, that I am okay, and that any fear is merely false evidence appearing as real. I forgive myself because I know I am a human trying the best I can and need only call on spirit to remember that I can and will do better as new possibilities begin to gather on my horizons. I think that is a very good, I don't know if I can. Okay, that is a very good, excellent affirmation that if I was the divine masculine, I would work with every day. It really recognizing and seeing how to work with that every day this week. Very good. Okay. Excellent one. Okay. With a gentle, maybe, yeah, okay. I would definitely, yeah, that is something that you kind of need to work with. 9 of air. I'm going to put it right there. Let's see. Okay. Let's get some clarifies. How would you go about doing that? That was with the energy. So it's just really saying, you know, just don't right now feeling bad about yourself, self-care. Do whatever you got to do to become open, although there's a lot of things swarming around going on. I'm looking at this. You trying to get new horizons, set new sights, especially this is what I'm looking at there. Become peaceful with whatever, become at peace with everything's like this. Still spread your wings, get in touch with your emotions, your emotional self. Yes. Okay, excellent. How do we come with that? We got to become an angel of balance. And this is really emphasizing about that. You've got to really look at things that happened in the past. Keep your eye on the prize or the light being showed there. Hold the light. And then also becoming more angelic. Get into your higher self as well. Look into the darkness for the answers. Rely on your intuition and your awareness to help shed lights on things that happened in the past, things that's happening in the present. Okay? And then the present. And then also your 6th chakra archangel Metatron. You got him with the 3rd eye. I want to pick up also this your Akashic records. Looking back with that, since especially he's talking about this past. Remember, sometimes you got to look at the past to see how you're going with the future, so you don't be doomed to repeat the same stuff over again. Especially when you're trying to be true to yourself, you got to look historically at some of the things that you did to lead you into the present moment that you are now, in order for you to be able to blossom and give way into something new. Call on Archangel Metatron to do that. He's very good at opening up your chakras as well. Definitely I use him in my meditations when I'm doing that, because they said for you to meditate. One of them said meditate. Then they say that for you work on meditating to get you some answers right for that. So definitely the divine masculines, I would say also meditate. I want to say either, I'm looking out here, especially with this saying you trying to make a decision between two things. I see nature. So if you can, get out there, hug a tree, lean on a tree, become one with a tree, do some things with that. That's definitely what I'm seeing for you. Exercise for you to do. Divine feminines, I told you to write a list to see about what things are blocking you and deal with that. Maybe you might want to even burn that since you're talking about the elements in nature. After you find out and put the things that was not working, that's blocking, I would do something physical to kind of like that, to let you know, okay, let's burn it, let it go into the ethers. Whatever kind of things that you physically want to do. You want to say, I want to tear, rip it, like you rip it up, contracts or something, maybe even karmically that you have done, to let it know, to let it go. as well, I would do that as well. That's what I'm kind of being led and guided to share with you. Is there anything else? Yeah, because I did that. All right, and let's look and see with the whispers. What are clear? What is the divine? Let's do it 3 ways. What does the divine feminine one say to divine masculine? And what does the divine masculine one say to divine feminine? Okay, I don't know about that many. You look, I said, no, I got a lot to say. And what does the universe want to say to both of them? Okay, I'm going to do that because I'll let that slide. Okay, divine feminine wants to say to divine masculine, spend some quality time together. It's imperative that we spend quality time with those we are in significant relationship with, listening, talking to each other. The divine masculine is going through a time of cocooning. I would say this. Yes, you need to spend time. I would not force it on him because especially what he's going through. He already said he wants to do self-care. He wants to do that thing. I think this is the way the divine feminine is saying, okay, I understand you're going through that, but please, when you have those moments and you are open and you are ready, remember I'm here. And when we do that, please do spend some quality time with me. I could picture her saying that to the divine masculine and saying, okay, that's fine, but at the same time, I don't want you to forget about, like you say, come see about me. Come see about me. So don't forget, that she's there, okay? The big crying baby for you. Continue denying baby for you. Hooray. Come on, boy. See about me. Come see about me. I had to think about it. I said, what am I singing? Yeah, so don't this, as soon as whatever you're going through, don't forget to come see about me. Okay. Love endures. Love does not give up on or lose faith. Love is hopeful and withstands every situation. So no matter what we're going through, the divine feminine is saying the divine masculine, love endures. This is true. We are going to be able to make it through this, okay? It withstands all different situations. We can't lose faith. We can't give up at this moment, even if you're at that fork of the road. Keep going. Keep pushing. Keep forth. Keep on the journey. This is what I'm looking at this. Okay, both of them said the same thing, just like what he's in the honeymoon. Both of them say we're in this boat together. It ain't just you, it's us, our dreams, our hopes, our wishes, things that we had wanted for ourselves, for each other. We've got to find courage. I see a lion in there. See flowers. We got to let things bloom and blossom. I see a shell there. We got to come out of our shell. I see castles. We building things together, together. Castles has got our dreams, our hopes and wishes is all into this. And they're all betting on us to be able to ride this thing out and to make it to our destination. I see that. And then also with the divine masculine, he's saying to the divine feminine, look to your inner strength. You are stronger than you realize. So when you're thinking about leaving this toxic situation, some of you all say, nah, well, maybe I can't stay here. You caught all up in your feelings. And it's just saying, you know what, no, it is time. He's saying you're stronger. You're able to see the future. You're going to see yourself as how you're supposed to be when you go through this new project and you're going ahead and do the completion and fruition of it. You're going to see that, you know what, all along you were able to do these things. Again, you're able to see in the future, he's seeing a stronger self. You're looking at, she's looking like, oh my God, I'm hoping, I'm wishing, she's kind of got that longing look to me. And I see rainbows in her hair. And so, she's a holder of our light of all things. And it's funny, this is a card, number 11. So, that's really this union and bringing both sides and this wholeness all together. in it. And so then, like I said, you know, he's saying, look at yourself in the future. Once you do these things and you go forth and you do leave this toxic situation, look at how strong and a beautiful, more stronger person you'll become. You'll hold the light and you'll become all these things. So he's saying you're stronger. So he's giving you some words of encouragement to say you're stronger than what you think. You can make it through this situation of leaving whatever is toxic. The universe wants to say to both of you all is the heart of the matter. There is more going on that meets the eye. Recognize what this is all about. That means understand what it is. It's talking about dealing with the inner child. I'm looking here. It's talking about your money matters. You got to find courage. It's about, I see a butterfly here, becoming something more than what you are. I see a unicorn here, learning how to become magical. The understanding at the point that everything you do is that you sprinkle your pixie dust. Everything, every little thing you do is magical. It looks like here, this looks like family here, coming together with your soul family. Like the universe is just saying, I'm just playing a part in all these wonderful things I'm stirring up for you. The universe also says the union of hearts. There is a connection of love that defies explanation. This is the union card. So it's just saying right now to universe for you all is that it's union. Union is upon. And there's a connection of love that defies explanation. You might not understand what's going on between you and your divine masculine at this time, but please note that, you know, like they say, little birds are there. You got love birds building things on the branches, bringing things, building things. That's why I think of birds as well. Just becoming light, finding new levels. And you got to just keep on working. I think about the sparrow, you know. The sparrow to me represents a bird that's not worrying. He just knows that the universe supplies them with all things. All they have to do is just be. That's it. Just go ahead and work, do what things they have. Everything supplied from them. Their food, their housing and shelter. Your universe and nature has supplied those things for them. So that's what that is. And the universe also wants both of you all to know. How many got two? Oh God. Spiritual connection. This relationship has connection that goes beyond this lifetime. So again, remember, this is many lifetimes, many past lives that you all have shared together. You and the divine masculine. So these are some things that you got to kind of get over in order to bring you back into union, because, you know, like I told you before, we don't want to get you into union and then all these other things, your fears and everything come up, and then you running for the hills. You know, if the divine masculine, like I told you in the last reading, is at the point that he's really healing and he said he's really ready and he's grounded and rooted and he's not turning back, because a lot of the videos I have seen, and they pretty much said that once the divine masculine goes through this process and he goes through this fire process and becomes out like silver and gold or like a diamond, and he's pressed by all these things, he's not going back to being no lump of coal. It's over with. So when he goes through this, he's not going through the same process of finding himself saying that, you know what, I'm not going to be divine anymore. Once he turns divine, that's it. And we want to make sure that you divine feminines are really at the point where you saying, you know what, I am ready for this. I'm ready for what he's got to bring to the table. I'm not going back. I'm not finding myself saying forget it. And so this is something, point in which divine feminines, we got to get ourselves together. So we got to know when we look at the things in the past, you know, that this is more than what it is that's happening here in the present. And that there's some past lifetimes that we also have to heal in the process. This is what I'm saying. In order for us to come into union, we got to deal with some of those triggers. And some of those things don't have to do with what's happening in the present. It has to do with what's happening in the past lives. And that goes for the divine masculine too. And so then it says, embrace your emotions. Don't push down your feelings or judge your emotions. And this universe is saying that for both of us. It's just like him saying, I got to take me some time out. I've got to rest. I don't feel like doing anything at this moment. I just want to just do some practice some self-care. So that again, he's getting in touch with divine masculine. You're getting in touch with yourself. You're honoring yourself, your feelings that you feel at that moment. Same thing with the divine feminine. You got to honor your emotions as well. You feeling right now where you are is very toxic. You saying somebody just don't feel right emotionally. You've got to learn how to honor that and learn how to kind of center yourself, come in touch with where you are, seeing where does your emotions tell you that you need to go next. What makes you feel like you're in that happy place, or you at home and you say where that home feeling that you feel in your heart, that's the direction that you actually need to go. So you need to take off, become magical, yet like that unicorn, and take off and find new heights and elevate and ascend to new levels. All right, that's a good way for me to end and wrap up with that. So I say until next time, stay uplifted, stay motivated, and stay ascended. Namaste, Namago.